They don't hate you because you're different. They hate you because you've discovered something terrifying. You don't need their approval to exist. Every time you wake up and choose yourself, every time you walk away from their games of validation, you're exposing the fragility of their entire system. You see, most people build their entire existence around being needed, around being essential to others' survival. But you've committed the ultimate sin. You've learned to thrive without their puppet, strings. The moment you stop seeking their validation is the moment they start questioning their worth. It's a beautiful domino effect, really. When you no longer laugh at their jokes just to fit in, when you stop nodding along with their mundane conversations, when you refuse to play the role they've assigned you in their little drama, that's when the hatred begins to simmer. They'll call it arrogance. They'll label it selfishness. They'll diagnose you with every personality disorder in the book. But what they're really saying is, how dare you prove that we're not as important as we think we are? Their hatred is nothing but a reflection of their deepest insecurity. The terrifying possibility that they might be unnecessary. Every successful person who doesn't need their network of codependency threatens the very foundation of their social pyramid scheme. They've invested their entire lives in creating webs of mutual neediness, carefully crafted relationships built on the currency of dependency. And here you come, walking through their webs like they're made of nothing but morning mist, showing everyone that there's another way to exist. Think about why they desperately push their lifestyle choices on you, why they insist you need to follow their path to happiness. It's not because they care about your well-being. It's because every person who chooses differently is living proof that their choices might be wrong. Your self-sufficiency is a mirror they can't bear to look into because it shows them everything they could have been if they hadn't chosen the comfort of dependency over the adventure of independence. Your ability to find happiness without their prescribed formula is what really drives them mad. They've sold their souls for a blueprint of success that promised happiness through conformity, through neediness, through constant validation seeking. Then you come along, writing your own rules, finding joy in solitude, building success on your own terms. You're not just breaking their rules, you're proving their rules were unnecessary all along. You're the glitch in their matrix, the anomaly that threatens to wake others from their comfortable slumber of codependency. Watch how they gather in groups to discuss your attitude problem, your antisocial behavior, your unwillingness to be part of the team. Notice how they never do this alone. They need the reinforcement of others to validate their hatred of your independence. They'll diagnose your contentment as depression, your self-sufficiency as isolation, your independence as arrogance. Because if they can pathologize your freedom, they can justify their chains. The truth is, your self-sufficiency exposes the hollowness of their connections. In a world where relationships are increasingly transactional, where every interaction is measured in terms of utility and return on investment, your ability to stand alone is revolutionary. They hate you because you've discovered that the emperor has no clothes, that most relationships in their world are just elaborate arrangements of mutual exploitation disguised as connection. They'll try to lure you back into their web with guilt, with opportunities, with promises of belonging. They'll paint beautiful pictures of everything you're missing by not needing them. But what they don't understand is that your freedom from need isn't about isolation. It's about choice. When you don't need someone, but choose to have them in your life anyway, that's when real connections are born. But they're too afraid of that level of freedom to understand it. The most delicious irony is that the more they hate you for not needing them, the more they reveal how much they need you, or rather, need you to need them. Their hatred is just another form of dependency. They need you to care about their opinions, their judgment, their disapproval. They need you to feel the sting of their rejection. But once you understand that their hatred is just another bid for your attention, another attempt to make you need their approval, it loses all its power. Their hatred is your crown. Their disapproval is your badge of honor. Because every bit of vitriol they throw your way is just confirmation that you've broken free from the prison of neediness they call normal. Let them hate. Let them gossip. Let them diagnose and disapprove, and desperately try to pull you back into their web of mutual dependency. Beneath the surface of every "you're lucky to have me" lies an ocean of insecurity deeper than the Mariana Trench. Such words drip with the poison of control, masked as sweet validation. These people build fortresses of false superiority, desperately trying to convince themselves and others of their irreplaceable value. But here's the delicious truth. Anyone who needs to remind you of your supposed luck has already revealed their deepest fear. The terrifying possibility that you might realize they're not as essential as they pretend to be. Sweet manipulation flows like honey from their lips, coating their demands in sugar-spun concerns. Nobody else would understand you like I do, they whisper. You'll never find someone who accepts you as I have, they declare. Each statement is another brick in the prison they're building around your independence. Through their eyes, your relationship isn't a partnership of equals, but a favor they're bestowing upon you. They transform your presence in their life from a choice into a debt, one they'll never let you forget. Listen closely to those who constantly remind you of their value in your life. Their words echo with the hollow sound of their own emptiness. These self-proclaimed saviors, these architects of dependency, they're master illusionists, performing their greatest trick, making you believe that your worth is measured by their presence. Yet with each reminder of how lucky you are, they reveal the trembling hands behind their confident facade. True value never needs announcement. It simply exists, as natural as breathing, as evident as sunlight. Scattered through their vocabulary are the breadcrumbs of desperation, subtle hints of their own neediness disguised as generosity. I could have chosen anyone, but I chose you, they say, as if your existence was validated by their selection. Dancing between compliment and threat, their words are carefully crafted weapons designed to keep you in a perpetual state of grateful submission. But their greatest fear isn't losing you. It's you realizing that their power over you was always an illusion. The symphony of their insecurity plays in every key of manipulation. One moment, they're the hero who saved you from loneliness. The next, they're the victim of your ingratitude. Watch how they rewrite history, casting themselves as the protagonist in every chapter of your story. Their narrative always ends the same way. You, eternally indebted to their magnanimous presence in your life. But stories can be rewritten, and the moment you start questioning the author is the moment their carefully constructed plot begins to unravel. Hidden beneath their reminders of your fortune lies a foundation built on quicksand. Every "you're lucky to have me" is a desperate attempt to solidify their importance, to transform their presence in your life from a choice into a necessity. These architects of dependency don't understand that true connection doesn't require constant reminder or reinforcement. Like gravity, it simply exists. No advertisements necessary, no marketing required. These merchants of guilt trade in a currency of obligation. Their emotional marketplace built on the exchange of "remember what I've done for you" and "think of all I've sacrificed." Each transaction pushes you deeper into a debt that can never be repaid, because the goal isn't your gratitude, it's your perpetual servitude. They don't want your love, they want your need, your dependency, your unquestioning acceptance of their self-assigned superiority. Through the lens of their narcissism, your independence becomes an act of betrayal. Your ability to find happiness outside their influence transforms into a personal attack on their sovereignty. They've invested so heavily in becoming indispensable that your self-sufficiency feels like theft. You're stealing their power, their control, their carefully constructed narrative of their own importance. And nothing terrifies them more than the realization that their kingdom of dependency might crumble. Watch how quickly the reminders of your luck turn to warnings of your unworthiness when you begin to question their authority. The mask of benevolent savior slips, revealing the desperate controller beneath. Their arsenal of "you'll never find better" transforms into "you'll never survive without me." But with each threat, they expose more of their own fragility, their own desperate need to be needed. Their power was always built on the foundation of your belief in it. The exquisite irony reveals itself like a flower blooming in darkness. Those who remind you of your luck in having them are the very ones proving why you don't need them at all. Their constant need to assert their value only demonstrates its absence. So, let them hate. Let them remind. Let them desperately try to convince you of your good fortune. Because in the end, they hate you not for who you are, but for what you've shown them, their reality.